So, Eric, the views and the comments have been coming in for following the trail part 2, and what sort of comments and feedback have you been looking for specifically?
It's been quite positive. I mean, the fans really seem to enjoy it. It's been a good experience for us, at least.
Okay, you may be a bit distracted, and with just cause, Chris, we apologize for the interruption. Chris, is there anything we can help you with there, buddy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm looking for my Easter egg. I was told it's here. You guys.
The Big Blue Bubble Easter egg hunt, of course, was
happened
going on today. But I mean, we're live right now.
We're trying to do our episode of My Singing Monsters live.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Well, good luck on your show, guys.
Okay. Thanks so much for stopping by, Chris. Yeah. Thanks. Happy Monstering! And welcome to today's episode of My Singing Monsters Live, your one-stop shop for everything My Singing Monsters. I am Monster Handler Matt.
I'm Monster Handler Eric, and boy, do we have a lot to talk about today.
We have a lot to talk about, but you know, thanks again to Monster Handler Chris for stopping in, trying to find his egg. Poor guy, you know, sometimes you find him, sometimes you don't.
When he sees this episode, he will be miffed.
He will be miffed. But, you know, we're good-natured pranksters here in the Big Blue Bubble office. Wouldn't you say there, Monster Handler Michael there behind the camera?
Chat's calling you a punk. Matt's a punk.
Who's calling me a punk?
Hashtag Matt's a punk.
Furcoin's a punk. Furnos is the punk. I'm a punk. Sorry for being a punk. You know who got punked? It's Chris. Chris got punked. So he's the one who's punked. I'm the punky. I don't know. That's a whole other can of worms.
Now, all silliness aside.
Yes.
We take care of some very serious business at the beginning of each episode.
Oh, right. Some very serious stuff.
The subscriber giveaway.
Hey! It's not serious at all. It's exciting, in fact.
Well, it's seriously fun.
It is seriously fun. And just for those of you who aren't aware, if you're joining us for the first time, and if you are, welcome.
Welcome.
Every single episode of My Singing Monsters Live, we start off the show with a subscriber giveaway. Now, that means when you subscribe to our channel that you have either Twitch Prime, or which I think comes with Amazon Prime. It's a special sort of way that you can support our channel and support the Monster Handlers and our program here of My Singing Monsters Live. And the subscriber giveaway, we randomly pull a name from our list of subscribers, and they are eligible to win a prize, a different prize each week. And you don't even need to be watching the episode. You simply have to be one of our subscribers.
You've really got that information down.
I'm
impressed.
Thank you so much. You know, I have a little bit of practice. We have been doing this now for several months.
Yes.
And what is our subscriber winner going to win today?
Well, it appears it'll be a rare Blabbit.
Excellent. A rare Blabbit, which is available for its second and final window of opportunity during the waning days of extravaganza this year. It joined its epic cousin in game on Wednesday of this week. So the subscriber winner will win a rare Blabbit. So do you have the name ready there, Eric?
I do. Would you like to read it?
I would love to read it. The winner of today's rare Blabbit subscriber giveaway is fan_gripper. Congratulations, fan gripper. And so make sure that you whisper at us your BBBID/friend code on Twitch. And then we'll know which account to deliver your brand new rare Blabbit to. So
Perfect.
There you go.
Now, normally, this is when we break down what's going on in the episode. We don't have time. We're on a tight schedule. Let's just get right into it.
Okay.
No. There's a message that has to be sent.
Okay.
You can see it on your computer there.
Oh, there it is. It's been updated.
Oh, see, this is the beauty of technology, is that sometimes we're able to see these things, and sometimes we're not. But there is a special message that we'd like to deliver as part of today's episode, and that is that Potawatomi MSM has been a subscriber for 5 months, and this is their message. Thanks for all the great live streams, blue heart, sunglasses, smiley face, unsunglasses, smiley face.
Hey, thank you.
Well, thank you so much for being on board with us, Potawatomi. You know, you've always been a consistently supportive and insightful contributor to these chats. So thank you so much for your support.
Thank you so much.
Here's to 5 more months. Only 5, though. No, we're kidding.
Okay.
5 times 5 times 5.
So, jumping right into it.
120.
We've got two main topics to discuss.
Okay.
Following the Trail, Part 2.
Yes.
Gotta break
which
that down.
premiered on YouTube.
That's
on
right.
Wednesday.
And then the result of said documentary
Of course.
episode, which was the discovery of Epic Blabbit.
Aha!
So, which would you like to tackle first?
I would like to talk. I think it makes sense to segue into the Epic Blabbit discussion once we've started talking about Following the Trail Part 2.
Perfect.
Okay.
So, to start, I don't know if you remember us having this discussion, specifically you and I.
You and I?
But after Part 1,
Yes.
Following the Trail went out,
Uh-huh.
people were very positive. You know, they wanted to see more. They liked a lot of different aspects. And that video was a lot of work.
Yes.
Certain aspects of the video were more complicated than we put into previous videos.
Fair enough.
And, you know, so we thought, what are we going to do for Part 2? Because
Uh-huh.
people have expectations now. They want
And
more
Part 2, the dramatic
this.
conclusion of the saga.
Exactly right. So I sat down with my ideas. This is a bit of behind the curtain discussion.
Whoa.
But I sat down and said, you know, what do we want to portray in Part 2?
Uh-huh.
How are we going to tell this story in a way that satisfies the fans, that really, you know, is just as fun as the first part?
Mm.
And I basically pitched you my ideas, and you went, Eric, that sounds like a lot. And I said,
You may recall that that's exactly what I said. I said, the scope of this seems quite big, Eric.
and I said, no. See, we'll make it a little bit quicker than the last one, so the production's a little bit shorter. I said, we'll keep the bits a little less complicated.
Okay.
And then suddenly we had 3D renderings.
Yep.
Recreations. We had, I think, just as many monster interviews.
Oh, at
and
least.
the video ended up being 4 minutes long.
Which is
So,
double the length of the first one.
Just about, yeah.
But you know what? We gave the story its due.
Yeah.
I think it was important to tell the story in its entirety to make sure that people did know the conclusion of our investigation with the monsters into the identity of the mysterious Water Island dweller, which of course ended up successful. You know, sometimes our investigations, the trails and the cases go cold. But this one was nice and cozy.
Yeah.
This one got a nice,
Worked
cozy reception.
perfectly. So let's take a little peek into the video, and we'll cover some fun things that you guys may have noticed, may not have. If we can get the first image up, please, Michael.
Bring up the screen,
You
Michael.
will see a document in the background here.
Yes.
It was out of focus for a lot of the video, but is in fact a document from an organization known only as Sing. I shouldn't say only as, because then it's
it's short form
expanded
as
upon
Sing.
as Strange Investigation of Neglected Grievances. Now you'll see a lot of the document is redacted, and you'll see I actually brought a copy
Wow.
of that redacted document here. But I'll tell you what's very fun and interesting is if you take each of the non-redacted pieces of this document,
Mm-hmm.
what it says is, don't be tricked into looking the other way. Study everything. The pictures, the words, the position of everything. They are hiding something. Help me figure it out.
Wow. So does that mean that possibly there's some sort of other fellow investigator, some operative at Sing that was in turn helping Blabbit?
Quite possibly. This could be a whole other case.
This
We
is
just
a
don't
whole
know.
other case. Well, you know, following the trail, you know, this was the first of its kind, but who knows? Others may pop up in the future.
That's
Others
right.
may bubble to the surface.
Oh.
This
And
is very cool.
on the
There it
note
is.
of
Sing.
monstrous, that some
Yes.
people may or may not had time to translate, we also looked at a number of filing cabinets in Blabbit's research here. Now, they're not all visible in one shot, but we thought we'd let you guys know what each of the labels said, since we know you guys love looking at that stuff. They are, in fact, photos, historical clippings, interviews, recordings, seismic etymology, which doesn't seem necessarily relevant until later on in the video when we talk to the dipsters about the shaking and the vibration.
That's right.
In which case, this was a perfect cabinet.
And which
to
is
have.
an interesting discipline in the first place. Is that looking at, like, the origin of the words related to seismic activity? It's unclear. It could be a monster discipline.
That's
I don't
right.
know much about it. But we know the Blabbit had a filing cabinet.
That's right. There's also mythology, video, taxes, because everyone's got to do taxes, but they're also
And it's tax season in the monster world as well as in the human
and anyone
world.
who's done taxes know they are a mystery.
They are
puzzling.
They are.
And
Just as puzzling as anything that Sing or Blabbit could have been.
my
investigating.
personal favorite, the final filing cabinet was labeled evidence, which
Arguably the most important cabinet of all.
how does that differ from the
Or
other cabinets? Who's
maybe,
to say?
maybe it's like physical evidence. You know what I mean?
Like
things,
the fur.
Things exactly like the patch of brown fur that was discovered.
Well, speaking of the fur, when we got it back from the lab, you may have noticed there is a detailed label on that bag. To fill everyone in, the bag came courtesy of Octopus Labs. You can see the first section there says fur. Yes or no? In this case, yes.
Yes, it
An
was.
important question to ask for any
Yes, it
sample.
was.
The sample breakdown contained 90% fur, 7% paint, 4% dirt.
And for those of you doing the math at home, math maybe works a little differently in the monster world than it does.
Well, Ruben on YouTube pointed out, hold on, 90% fur, 7% paint, and 4% dirt. That equal to 101%.
Which I think is equivalent to the amount of effort that you put into this video.
Well, let me explain. In laboratories, from my limited understanding, there are often what's called a rounding error.
Have you
where
ever worked
get-
in a lab?
I've worked around a lab. Very nice dog. And sometimes there are rounding errors. It happens in polling too, apparently, where the percentages look
Things
like they don't add
equal
up.
out
But it's
to-
because you're not
100.
going to put that it was like 3.957. You're going to move that up to 40. Now, that being said, we also don't know how good Octopus Labs is.
Right.
We like the results were useful.
Well,
but-
and presumably, you know, the name of it is Octopus Labs, but it would make sense to me that perhaps it's Rare Octopus who's actually the mastermind behind that operation
Quite
because
possibly.
of its sort of vaguely maniacal mad scientist inclinations.
Yes.
Right? It likes potions and concoctions and
So
stuff
what
like
could
that.
have a very reasonable explanation could just be a mistake, could be monster math. We're not 100% sure.
yeah.
We're not 101% sure
Aha!
what the explanation is.
There you go.
Now, also on the label was, before I get to the else on the label, the percentage of paint, if anyone was wondering, we can see here in Rare Blabbit's workshop, he was using Thumpy's brown paint. So while painting one of its dummies, we'll call them,
Yes.
it may have gotten some on its fur and left
Yes,
us behind.
the shadowy entrepreneur. While we're talking about other pieces from the case, I thought I'd bring along the sketch that was made based on the description that we'd provided.
That's
which
right.
was, of course, a withdrawn being with brown fur and antler-like appendages.
Nailed it.
And of course, here is the actual physical copy of that drawing.
Very nice.
And you know, apologies to Rare Yule, we were sort of off base with that one.
Ho, no.
That's right, but what are you gonna do?
Also on the label was a section for lunch breaks,
Yes.
which specified 9 a.m. / 2 p.m.
2 lunch breaks.
A couple of lunch breaks
That's
throughout
nice.
the day.
It's maybe sort of like a Hobbit style diet.
That's right.
Many lunches.
Now, when part 1 came out, there was quite a bit of analysis going on.
Uh-huh.
Some people made some videos. I wanted to highlight one I saw specifically. There is a nice fellow named Galactica Yellow Knight on YouTube who put together analysis. I put together a couple quick clips from their video, and I'll show you why in a second. Let's play the clip.
That's Rare Blabbit's Epic Blabbit's horn. Definitely.
All we have are some blurry photographs.
And another Rare Blabbit. Epic Blabbit.
And the
Sorry.
stories that come with them.
Now,
So why was this clip of interest to you, Eric?
you may have noticed that they seemingly misspoke a couple times, and they said, that's Rare Blabbit. I mean Epic Blabbit. But they had no idea. They were 100% correct. If we look at the photos that were shown in part 2 that were faked, it is the exact photos, the exact 2 photos that they misspoke and said, that's Rare Blabbit.
So this particular detective work was even more correct than even they knew
That's right.
themselves. Their
Galactica-
instinctual knowledge was
Galactica
right
Yellow
on
Knight.
point.
Accidental sleuth.
And I
Knew
mean,
exactly what's going
Yellow Knight. I mean, Yellow Fur plays a major role in this particular investigation. Help us to identify a particular character
A very good
in the
point.
mix.
And then finally, I wanted to touch on the letter that was received by Blabbit. You can see here the Epic Blabbit seal, which now makes sense knowing what we know about the antlers.
That's right.
One other thing of note that I unfortunately didn't grab a screen grab of was the map that was inside of there. You can see the dotted line and some roughly drawn details. You'll notice that the recording studio and areas that we were investigating with the tipsters, they were all on the left side of the island. And unfortunately,
That's
Epic
where
Blabbit,
our investigation was sort of focused for a while.
but Epic Blabbit was setting up on the right side of the map.
Oh!
So we just didn't see it. Well, because the whole stage went up and we weren't looking.
Classic investigation error.
Yeah, it happens.
Going left when you should have gone right. Gone right when you should have gone left.
Then we followed the map, we found the stage, and we met Epic Blabbit.
Now you wonder if Epic Blabbit was sort of getting a little impatient with us.
That's true. We don't know how long that was set up.
Right. It could have been there for the entirety of part one of following the trail, and we were
That's right.
We were just snooping around with our magnifying glasses, collecting all this now irrelevant evidence, and then the rest is history.
That's right. But now Epic Blabbit is here, and why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've learned about Epic Blabbit Monster Handler Map?
Absolutely. So Epic Blabbit, some astute fans noticed that Epic Blabbit actually made its first official appearance in the loading screen
That's right.
for Extravaganza. It was hiding behind one of the Moa rocks, the seasonal decorations for Water Island.
Just peeking out.
Just
with the
peeking out.
antlers,
Just
right?
the antlers were peeking out at the time, and so a lot of fans correctly guessed that was going to be Epic Blabbit. But Epic Blabbit, in and of itself, is based on an actual mythological creature that exists here in the human world,
That's right.
and that's the jackalope.
The jackalope.
The jackalope. So the jackalope is what we like to call a cryptid, which is a mythological creature that seems reasonable to exist, not too far-fetched, but that there's actually no official scientific record or knowledge.
Cryptid is your word of the day.
That's right, cryptid. But we know the truth. We know the jackalopes are out there.
Oh, they've got to be.
And jackalopes are, if I'm not mistaken, the you remember how last week we were talking about epic scups, and we were talking about some of the other things that hail from Thingia.
Yes.
And we were looking at Flappy, the happy accident born of the chance meeting between a vampire bat and an albino thing. Well, jackalope is sort of a similar sort of vibe where it is, if I'm not mistaken, a male jackrabbit and a female antelope that come together to create the jackalope. So it is a hybrid, sort of in the same way that many monsters in the monster world are hybrids of their various constituent elements. Now, jackalope sightings nowadays are centered around sort of the western United States. There are sightings in Nebraska and Colorado and Wyoming. Actually, the city of Douglas, Wyoming, has a Jackalope Day that is celebrated every year.
Wow.
And they contend that they had their first sighting in 1829
Wow.
of the jackalope. But this is sort of confusing for us because historical evidence of the Epic Blabbit seems to predate even 1829, so possibly jackalopes were inspired by Epic Blabbit, not the other way around.
Wow.
That's one of the real exciting tidbits that I wanted to share
This sounds
on
like a
the
whole
show.
other documentary.
That's a whole other thing. We'll have to go to Douglas and we'll have to be like, "What's the big idea?" And they'll go,
Yeah.
"Go away."
Can you imagine? We're showing them Epic Blabbit. That's what we saw. We've
That's
got it
it.
wrong this whole time.
Which brings me to think that, Wyoming, not necessarily the most watery place in the world, and of course, the natural habitat of all blabbits is predominantly aquatic. So, if there was some sort of wormhole, some sort of dimensional slipstream that Epic Blabbit tumbled through and somehow made its way onto the plains of the western United States, and it's there, and people are like, "Look at that! I've never seen a thing like that before." And then it was Epic Blabbit the whole time. Maybe the jackalope sightings were actually Epic Blabbit sightings.
More monsters than you.
I know it's
Can you
it's
imagine?
madness.
Oh, hey,
it's
Bill.
Madness.
So, another
Don't
point.
mess up our rig here. We got a good thing going.
Another
No
point
technical issues.
of
Bill.
the cryptid jackalope.
Yes.
Very much fed into sort of the narrative of following
Mhm.
the trail with all of the mysterious photos, obviously based on a lot of things like Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster.
Mhm.
So, very
Those
very
were
fun stuff.
sort of when it came time to decide upon how Epic Blabbit was going to be revealed. That obviously inspired that direction. That creativity was based on some of our research done here in the human world.
That's right.
So
and
there you go.
one other very mysterious creature that a lot of people have been asking about is the shadow at the end of the video, and we'd really like to clear that up for you.
Well, I
Right.
mean, like, if you want to hear about the shadow at the end of the video, I'd be totally ready to speak about that. So let me just sort of set the stage here for you. That oh wait, oh, I'm checking.
Yeah.
We just ran out of time.
We gotta go to questions.
We just ran out of time for that particular discussion, and now we have to go. Okay, maybe we'll tackle it some other time.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe we'll tackle it some other time. Hey,
This is
what was
time
that?
Strictly for
Hey.
questions.
What was that?
Okay. So let's get right into it.
Okay.
Cubwax wants to know.
Uh-huh.
Can you tell us who was the anonymous monster that you interviewed, or do they still not want to be revealed?
Well, I mean, that particular individual made it abundantly clear to us that they didn't want their identity fully on display. So, I mean, we acquiesced. We made it a concerted effort to conceal its identity. I mean, like we pixelated it when possible. The interview actually took place in a dimly lit room, so you couldn't really see
the voice.
a few bubbles around there. The voice, of course, was modified, was digitally modified,
heavily modulated,
so that it wouldn't be identified later, because of course that's one of the ways that you protect someone's identity is sort of by modulating their voice, by sort of garbling it a bit, so that you can't be like, oh yeah, that's so and so.
Exactly.
You know,
it is rare that you get to sit and blab with it,
right?
So you don't want to destroy that trust and potentially
Exactly.
not do it again.
Who
another
knows?
time.
Maybe it'll come back later and be relevant to another following the trail investigation.
I think you guys forgot that.
I don't know what you're talking about, Michael. Don't say it.
You may have talked
Don't
about
say it.
something a few
Don't
minutes
say it.
ago.
Don't say it.
I don't.
I don't know what he's talking about.
I don't recall.
Why would he? Speaking of undermining trust, what sort of trust exists here between us monster handlers and Michael behind the camera?
Okay.
Come on, man.
On to the next question. Sasha Just Dancer wants to know, why was Epic Blabbit hiding for so many years? Why was it scared to come out of the shadows?
You know, I think that Epic Blabbit, it was less to do about, like, scaredness of a fear of the open world, but more of just, you know, enjoying its own privacy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not necessarily as gregarious as its common and rare cousins. And so it was just sort of happy to do its own thing for a while. And, you know, as its bio attests, and of course as well, influenced and inspired by the events of following the trail, I think it finally made the decision that you can't stay in hiding forever.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when this entire investigation had been launched into finding it specifically, right? Like, I mean,
That's right.
Before it was just sort of like folkloric. It was just sort of around this sort of myth that people would talk about. You know, it was included in Mysteries of the Living Ocean
That's right.
and
Yes.
stuff like that. So it's been around for a while, but I think Epic Blabbit was not scared to come out, but was just enjoying its own privacy and wanted other monsters to respect that. But then I think it figured it was losing the war. There was such an effort made to try and get to know this monster,
A lot
to try
of attention.
and bring it into the fold, to join in with the monster song, that I think Epic Blabbit was like, forget it. I'll just come out in style.
Yeah. I mean, especially
I liked that stage.
with the photography that was being taken. Not
Very
not
unflattering.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know, paparazzi can sort of hound you. And
Exactly.
you don't want to be hounded.
No. So now,
So
Here it is.
I think that's why Epic Blabbit is now in the mix.
fantastic. Ooh, very interesting question from Justin88.
Mhm.
Can Epic Blabbit ride in a bubble like the common and rare cousins can, or would its antlers pop the bubble?
Very interesting question. So based on what we know about Blabbits, we do know that at the very least, the common Blabbit travels by bubble. I think rare Blabbit can accomplish the same feat. In fact, it might even be a little easier because it has less pointy bits. It does not have the claws on its feet
little rounder.
that common Blabbit does, more of a serpentine form. But, you know, Justin88 raises a great point, which is those very pointed antlers might interfere with the ability to actually travel by bubble.
Mm-hmm.
So, we know at the very least that Epic Blabbit hops, and that it hops along, as our 3D rendering simulation in Following the Trail Part 2 was able to ascertain for us. So, I think more likely, if we look at the passage from Mysteries of the Living Ocean, when it says it dashes to and fro upon ocean currents, it seems more likely that it just sort of hitches a ride on the natural sort of slipstreams of the living ocean. Sort of like that scene from Finding Nemo when they're all on the EAC, the East Australian Current, and it's just sort of a big highway that they're traveling on. So I would suspect that Epic Blabbit, unlike its common cousin, at the very least, probably favors using other aquatic modes of transportation rather than traveling by bubble.
Like swimming.
Or swimming works too.
Okay.
But you want to sort of kick back and just sort
Exactly.
of like, that's a lot of effort. Now,
Yeah.
the other thing I'm glad that you mentioned that, because the other interesting thing that I wanted to talk about Epic Blabbit is you may notice that its ears more closely resemble common Blabbits than rare Blabbits, but that they're missing one of the 3 sort of finger-like digits that common Blabbit uses to grasp things in the absence of arms. Of course, Epic Blabbit has arms, so not sure from an evolutionary standpoint when those arms were lost, or if Epic Blabbit grew them, sort of spitting off the family tree from common Blabbit. But I thought it was interesting that Epic Blabbit's ears were a little bit smaller, because I don't think that it uses them to grasp things like common Blabbit does. It actually uses its paws, its front paws.
Fair
So I just thought that was an interesting thing to note about Epic Blabbit, those smaller, almost vestigial ears.
Well, Luxus 4919546 has an interesting question.
Uh-huh.
And it is question time, so this is allowed.
Uh-huh, yep.
What was that at the end of the video when Matt said, "Whoa, what was that?"
Oh no, Luxus, it looks like we're out of time.
Just for this one
for
question.
questions. That's too bad. Okay, on to the next question.
E. Furcorn wants to know, what is Epic Blabbit supposed to represent, and what does Water Island have to do with Easter?
So, I think Epic Blabbit, as we touched upon, is inspired by its real-world jackalopian countenance. And in terms of why Water Island has to do with Easter, it was the next island that didn't have a seasonal event in My Singing Monsters. When we first released My Singing Monsters, Plant Island aligned well with Halloween. Cold Island aligned well with Christmas and the other winter holidays. Air Island aligned well with Valentine's Day. And so we thought, hey, you know what? Especially when we think of things like Easter Island being surrounded by water, we thought, why not lean into that? And now, inexorably, water and the extravaganza seasonal event around the human time of Easter, they are linked forever in our hearts and minds.
Challenge for you.
Yes.
You mentioned Easter Island, surrounded by water.
Yes.
Can you name an island not surrounded by water?
Yes. Air Island.
Well, there you go. I was thinking real world, but yeah.
Yeah, I knew you were trying
Winner
to get me
again,
so... Yay! All right, what's next?
Good transition point.
Big Shrub wants to know, what sparked all water element epics to be available? Is the Epic Blabbit with intense seasonal energy luring out the epics, like when Celestials first crashed and the rares came out for a bit?
Because Extravaganza is ending, these are the final 5 or 6 days of Extravaganza that we're launching into here. It concludes next week. I think the Epics just wanted an opportunity to meet with Epic Blabbit, so I think that this particular question is very astute. That it's the seasonal energies, but also I think it's like blink and you'll miss it, sort of thing. They want to be able to have a conversation with Epic Blabbit before it once again dashes to and fro upon the ocean currents, because this Epic Blabbit availability is only a very short amount of time in My Singing Monsters, so I think the Epics came out to be like, I'm a big fan of your work. It's very nice to meet you.
Very nice.
What is your opinion on food?
Interesting you bring that up, because
Uh-huh.
LegoBot144 wants to know, what's Epic Blabbit's favorite food?
Well, an Epic Blabbit's favorite food is frankenbeans and s'mores.
Wow. Together?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, you may think that marshmallow and hot dog don't go together, but they do. At least in terms of Epic Blabbit's palate.
Okay, one last question
Okay.
here before we move on, just because we're so short on time. My watch has been switching hands.
Oh my. Moving so it's like a quantum watch. It's like there but not.
That's right. Not Pom Pom wants to know, Matt,
Hello.
where did you get that hat?
This hat is a Monster Handler badge of honor. It's something that I enjoy wearing as part of my Monster Handler getup, but it is part of the actual official Monster Handler mandated costume. And we keep it pretty casual here in My Singing Monsters Live.
That's right.
But of course, all of the Monster Handlers, I assume, you have your pith helmet at home.
I had it when I was filming the documentary.
That's
I had it
right.
on
Because,
all the
well,
time.
and it's also a good actually
That's
to
it.
have the helmet when you're in a
We're out in
foreign
the wild.
dimension.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, anything could happen, especially when you're underwater.
You never know.
You never know.
We had it underneath our helmets.
That's right. It's which made the helmet design sort of a little difficult. But
That's right.
It's all good.
Tell you what else is difficult. Some stumped questions.
Oh no! Trivia, please, please, please. Now, as I recall correctly, I really aced last time. So let's see if I can continue my streak.
I'm very curious.
All right, bring them on.
Tell you who else is curious, Cubwax, to know if you know what type of heterochromia. That's it, right?
Yes.
It's not a word I have to say out loud, right?
No, it isn't. You can look
What
at it.
What type of heterochromia does Blabbit have? And then there's some options.
Oh, what? Okay, what are these options?
A, complete heterochromia.
Mm-hmm.
B, sectoral heterochromia. C, central heterochromia. Or D, partial heterochromia.
I'm going to say that it's complete heterochromia because both eyes are a distinctly different color.
So that's A?
Yeah.
You got it.
Yay! Woohoo!
So let me give you the information.
It's a good thing that those versions of heterochromia sound, accurate to what they actually describe.
So, just to break it down very quickly, because we don't have a lot.
Yes.
Complete is when one iris is one color, the other iris is a different color.
Yes, we knew that.
Sectoral or partial, which are the same,
Yes.
is when one iris is half one color or half another.
Oh.
Oh, I see. That was a trick. Sectoral and partial were different letters, but meant the same thing.
Oh, man.
Very tricky.
Just to try and mess me up. Well, Cubwax, you tried, and I was victorious.
And then central is when the iris has a different color near the border of the pupil.
Oh, cool. I knew someone like that.
Well, there you go.
They wielded a red lightsaber. No, I'm kidding.
Decide do.
Decide do.
Asks, in hours, rounded to 4 decimal places, how many hours was following the trail part 2?
What?
They want, so the length of following the trail part 2,
Yeah.
but in hours,
Yes.
to the 4th decimal place.
What? This is not a trivia question. This is a math question.
This is an excellent trivia
All
question.
right. Well, okay. Well, the video is roughly 4 minutes. There are 15-minute. There are 15 groups of 4 in an hour. So then we take 100 divided by 15, which is roughly 7 point something. So to decimal places, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say that it was 0.1 0.1685 hours.
Stumped.
What is it?
It is 0.0588 hours long.
What?
Yeah. I have faith in this math.
I'm gonna have to check that later. I contend that this is not a trivia question. You're trying to get me with the math, people. This is cruel and unusual.
Okay,
All right.
one-
All right. But I will accept this stumpage.
This next one is definitely a trivia question,
Mm-hmm.
but it comes with the warning. This question is hard, so Matt better get his thinking cap on.
All right, it's on.
Blassoom 1 asks, which
First
monsters like the floofy nest? Just all of them.
I'm pretty sure Wubbox is one of them. Or rare Wubbox.
Okay, that's one answer you gave so far. Is that your whole answer?
No.
I'll tell you, there are multiple.
I know
monsters.
that there are.
Oh, good. Then name them.
There's a preponderance of rares and epics that like the floofy nest, just because in terms of when it came into the game,
Okay.
all of the likes had already been decided for all of the common natural monsters. So then we wanted to give the animated decorations some love. I have no idea. Wubbox is in there. Whoa! What about also Epic? There's an Epic that's related to floofies, sort of, or that likes nests and stuff. Is Epic Blabbit one? No, Epic Blabbit likes the seasonal decorations. How about Rare Blabbit? Rare Blabbit. I'm gonna say Rare Blabbit and Wubbox are in the mix. That's my answer. But of course, I'm accepting the stumping on this one because I know that there are more, but I just can't summon them.
Stump.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Yes.
Okay. The answer is Blabbit, Sugavox, Humbug, Rare Furcorn, Rare Quibble, Parlsona, Magpie, and Kana.
quite a broad spread. So wait a minute.
None
were
of-
both of my answers
Yeah,
correct?
not on this
Rats. Well, I knew that Blabbit liked it. Excuse me.
So emotional.
Oh my goodness! I'm choked up with my poor performance this time. All right, come on, give me one that's good.
Okay.
Give me one that I will get. They've all been good.
Well, I mean, I hope you'll get this one. We'll see.
Okay, we'll see.
This is gonna be the last one. We'll put you at your mercy.
Okay.
Blassoom asks, what number is Epic Scups in order of epics, including epic seasonals? I know you've encyclopedic memories, so you might be able to get this one.
Rats.
That's not a
I look at this list quite frequently when we are planning the release of even more epics because they're coming. Because they're coming.
more epic.
No, I can say that with some confidence that more epics are coming.
Well, I
So
don't.
keep your ears and your other hearing organs to the ground. I think that it is number. Starts with a 1. I think it's number 17.
Winter Canyon.
I got it!
The 17th epic. That's what it says.
Hooray! Man, I'm good. All right. Well, I think I got.
After those first.
Yeah. I think I got.
Man,
I think I
I'm
got 2 out of 5, which is my 40%. So I'm happy. I'm happy as an epic blabbit on
Oh, you did
on,
get the
on an
first-
ocean current.
You actually, yeah, you did get a.
Yeah, not bad, right? I know I was mixed up there with
Okay.
some math.
Yeah. You came.
But,
You came around. You came around. Okay. Shall we jump into our activity? then?
Yes, I would love to jump into this
Another
activity.
talent that we can feature of yours.
Oh.
In an activity that we like to call Sketchy Suspects.
Ah.
As you
sketchy
may-
suspects. Okay.
As you may recall, as you brought in the drawing yourself, we had a sketch done
Yes.
of an individual based on some criteria.
Yes, there's some
We
writing down
are
there.
going to be given some criteria by Monster Handler Sydney, who's now in the room with us. So everyone say hi, Sydney.
Hi, Sydney. She's been there operating the chat. She's been there answering your questions, fielding stuff. There she is,
Hi.
visible on the screen.
Hello.
You appear to be coming to us live from some sort of underground den.
It's dark in here.
It is, yes. Well, you seem
I'm
you seem
well
well
lit.
lit. You seem well lit
I know how to
for
find
being
my way.
underground.
Glowing.
Did you happen to say hello to any of the dipsters that are discounted this weekend, Sydney?
I think they're all out partying because they're so happy about the sale.
That's
Haven't seen
great.
it.
Yes, the hole-in-one promotion is back. All dipsters discounted to 1 key only for the end of
Wow.
extravaganza. You know what? They were so helpful in our investigation, and you know they're helping us even further by discounting their prices in the store. Isn't that
Helpful
nice?
but hard to fill.
Yes, very hard
Very
to fill.
elusive.
They're fast-moving.
You better believe it. So,
Okay.
we are going to be given the criteria. Please pick your pencil crayon, sir.
I'm gonna go with green.
Oh. Well, then I'm going to go with the red.
All right. Okay.
Classic Christmas colors.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Yay! Please.
All right. So, shall I describe the first sketchy suspect that you guys will need to sketch?
Yes.
Yes.
Please.
All right.
I think we got that one correct.
This monster was seen fleeing by air. It was identified as having a beak-like nose and fiery feathers. Who could it be?
Are we looking for a face-on view of this monster?
I think you can draw it
Any
however you
sketch,
want,
any
really.
sketchy suspect will do.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that'll work.
Okay.
A real test of your artistic talent here.
That's not what I want to hear.
All right. I'm ready.
I'm not. You show yours.
All right. Well, here I don't know.
Ooh.
The white balance on our episode on our camera today is a little off, but hopefully you can see that I have identified here a glowl as my entry.
Very good. And do you want to walk us through?
So fleeing by air, this is a monster with some sort of means of flight. I figured wings, perhaps.
Makes sense.
The other descriptions were also factored in. Can you repeat them,
Yes.
please?
A beak-like nose.
Beak-like, got it. Yep.
Beak-like in that it is a beak.
Yes.
And fiery feathers.
Fiery feathers, yes. As we know, the pinion feathers of glowels are often used for torches that never go out. So,
Very
There, I added some better brow action there to my glow. All right, what you got there, Eric?
Just
Come
adding-
on, buddy.
Just adding some shading. Okay.
Okay.
So as you'll see, what I've drawn here is if it fades in, it's Punk Monster Handler Matt.
Hey, wait a minute.
Hanging out with his friend Punk Furnos, rendered in incredible
Can I see your
detail.
Furnos? That looks like Vamp.
You'll get there after. You can see the.
The furnace.
And you can see
Looks like a dipster.
he was mistaken as flying through the air with flaming feathers, as Furnos had lit his behind on fire, and he jumped so high that he got a lot of air.
Definitely fleeing by air there.
Okay.
Now, the comments about his nose, notwithstanding, I think you have a lovely nose.
Thank you very much. I suppose in some circles it might be considered a beak. But okay, what's next there,
Next
Sydney?
paper,
I'm gonna
please.
Would
switch.
you like to know who, in fact, the suspect was?
Oh yes, I
Oh,
would.
yes, we'd love to hear that.
Yes.
The suspect was, in fact, Glau.
Hooray!
Yes to Eric.
Is that who you guessed?
Man, we're good. Yeah, I guess.
I didn't listen to your answer. I was so focused. But I'm happy for you.
Thank you so much. Let's change. I'm changing my color.
Okay.
All
Did you
right.
change from green? Oh, you went.
I changed
okay.
from
I thought you went from
green to black.
Different
While
green.
you're selecting your color,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
the next monster. This monster was seen to be flailing its fluid-like arms about, while hopping around on one leg. Though the witness could not count how many there were, the monster was described to have many eyes.
Aha!
This one is much tougher.
Can I get that one more time?
Yes. This monster was seen to be flailing its fluid-like arms about, while hopping around on one leg. Though the witness could not count how many there were, the monster was described to have many eyes. Many eyes, one leg, fluid-like arms. They couldn't count how many there were. Who could it be?
Count how many monsters?
Though the witness could not. Oh no! How many eyes? How many
Ah.
eyes?
Okay.
Though the witness could not count how many there were, the monster was described to have many eyes.
This is where I think I excel. The trivia is truly my undoing. But I think that this is when I can really shine. Are you prepared?
I'm not even started.
All right. Well, here you go. Here I have
my.
rare Nebulob, leaping up and down on its singular. It is unipedal, not bipedal. It is unipedal, and there are the many eyes contained within the dome for its plasmic sort of energy.
Now, would you say that Rare Nebulob has complete heterochromia? Partial heterochromia?
I'd say, though, that's a very interesting comment because that's like polychromia because there's just like so many. There's not only two, although I guess hetero in this case means different. So I don't know. We'd have to ask a community that scientifically studies animals with more than two eyes. I wonder if spiders have heterochromia.
Couldn't tell ya.
How's it going?
Well, let me give
He's
some.
working hard.
Let me give some explanations.
Oh,
Mr.
okay.
Okay.
So the first thing you'll notice.
Zoom that in because we can't see it
Yeah.
at all.
There you go.
So, it's a fur corn jumping in profile, so it only appears to have one leg, and it's going up and down so fast that the eyes are sort of the visual traces of it are left in the blur. I know it's very hard. Maybe it's better this way. Yes, look, it's a perfect rendition.
Here, I'm bringing it in closer.
Much
There,
better.
there
we
it
go.
is.
All right.
And so obviously hard to make out exactly how many eyes.
So
are
in
going on.
motion.
Yes,
I see,
that's
I
right.
see.
It was just
Okay.
jumping so quick.
Well, I
Could
think
be our
I
suspect.
think that's you've certainly met all of the criteria that were listed out there.
The
What?
witness could have seen
So
that, yes.
so Sydney, who was the sketchy
Our
suspect?
sketchy suspect was Rare Nebula.
Yahoo!
Another one to Matt.
Now, to be clear, my fur corn was nicknamed Rare Nebula, so technically.
Very
also.
interesting.
Huh.
All right, I'm switching colors one more time. 'cause I
Okay.
think It's been a good.
Well, it worked so
now
well for me
now
last
I'm
time.
using violet or purple.
I'm gonna go over
Turn
to
violet,
blue.
violet.
Blue.
Oh
Alright.
no, this is not a very sharp
Good one.
brand.
Whoa! Hey, you know what? I had luck with green. And,
Yeah.
And yeah, why don't you try green?
This
I
is
feel
the
good
most
with this.
important part of the process. is
Yeah.
choosing
Okay.
the color.
So
Yeah.
what's our next sketchy suspect?
Okay, the next sketchy suspect. This monster was described to have two eyes. A
Oh,
rock-
There goes my
that
idea.
narrows them down.
a rock-like complexion, and only two appendages.
Say again.
Stumped.
Say. Rock. With
This monster
only
has 2 eyes,
2 eyes.
a rock-like complexion, and only 2 appendages.
Only 2 appendages.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What
Why am I?
Get your pencil ready.
Oh,
Ooh,
oh,
boy.
I know who it is. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Oh.
We want to know your guesses in the chat. I'm seeing a lot of guesses for a particular monster, and I have to say, that monster is actually incorrect. So keep guessing, guys. Keep guessing. This one
Not
really-
as easy as it looks.
Yeah, this one really stumped a lot of people in the chat.
Well, I think I have something.
I think when you find out who the true suspect is, you'll say, ah.
So my guess
Oh, okay.
is T-Rox.
That's a beautiful drawing.
Thank you. Because so far as I can tell, the 2 appendages that it has are its 2 legs. I was not counting the tail as an appendage in this case.
Interesting choice not to include the tail as
I-
an appendage. Not to count it as an appendage.
Oh,
An interesting choice.
whoa.
Some
Perhaps
might
a
say
wrong
that,
choice.
Some might say that that's 3 appendages.
Some might say that too. Some might say a head is an appendage, but it has
Some
2
might.
eyes.
Some might.
All right. Well, here's my guess. It's T-Rox, and admire it, please.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, I'm pretty confident with this one.
All right, hit us.
All right. So what we've got here is a displeased noggin
Very
that
great.
the dipsters have photobombed it and jumped in front, effectively hiding its fate.
2 of its 4 appendages,
That's right.
but it does have a rocky complexion.
Yep.
And one might say that with all those dipsters in front of it.
Well, that's it. You
more
would
than 2
think.
eyes.
You would think only 2 appendages because
Well, did you hear what Sydney said though? But with the
No, I
dipsters
That's
in
a
front,
lot. Thanks for not listening. That's more than 2 eyes if they're looking at the dipsters.
maybe the dipsters have their eyes closed.
I think it's pretty clear the dipsters are different monsters.
Okay.
They're not going to think that's all at one. Also, I'd like to point out that I think my dipster in the tiny top hat is very elegant.
Very handsome.
That's a dipster about town.
That's
I would
right.
like to
A
point out-
dandy dipster.
I would like to point out that your noggin looks shockingly like a ziggurat.
Oh, you think so?
I do.
I can kind of see it.
All right, Sydney. I feel like neither of us really nailed this one. So, can you?
They were both very valid guesses.
But
But our sketchy suspect is Syncopate. Rocky complexion, 2 eyes, 2 appendages, its little legs.
oh,
My singing monster,
the young
Yes,
syncopite
my singing monster.
specifically.
Yes, the revived Syncopate.
Yeah, that wasn't even on my radar. So we got stumped.
Nope, that's exactly what I drew. I drew syncopite
Tricky one.
with. Oh, come on, camera.
Barely see.
There
There
see
it is.
Syncopite, no hands, dipsters in front of it. Anyway,
Now the syncopite
even has
is.
the eyes of the syncopite.
Yes, you did a great job there.
Yeah.
The syncopite is discounted 20% off on Celestial Island, only for a small amount of time remaining.
So
Wow.
get it while you
So
can.
get it
Get
while you can.
What crime do you think Syncopate committed?
I think Syncopite committed one of the most grievous crimes that can be committed in the monster world, and that's
I had something. You want me to fill in here?
yeah.
Being too darn cute.
I was gonna say that it was what's that verb when you take money from a company? You embezzlement. I think embezzlement
Perhaps
because
like Geeker, they were guilty of tax fraud.
the now infamous Giger tax fraud
That's right.
debacle.
Tempting.
Very tempting to commit
That
fraud.
tax is in the filing cabinet. It's all coming together.
Giger, come on, man. So I say embezzlement just because we know that Syncopite has some influence over the time-bending properties of diamonds. So maybe Syncopite was like, here are lots of diamonds, but they're not actually there. Sort of like a leprechaun with its gold.
I also wonder if they just saw the crystalline form
Yes.
and thought that they're a diamond thief. They're on the run.
Right. They're covered with their haul.
That's right.
Sort of thing, right? And they're making their escape, and someone goes, "Hey, wait a minute, you shouldn't be stealing that crystal." And then Syncopite has to go, "But I'm Crystal.
It's me.
I'm Crystal.
I'm Crystal.
Given life. you
That
know?
old excuse.
Yeah,
I'm Crystal.
I personally
Could
think
be Bobbles.
Syncobite is guilty of jaywalking.
Oh, and why do you say that, Sydney?
Yeah.
It has legs. And only legs.
A very
Well,
What else
solid.
is it gonna do?
Right,
Solid
because it's
theory.
certainly not Jay crawling.
Alright, shall we
Jaywalking.
get the last sketchy suspect?
Oh, there's
Oh,
one
there's
more?
There's one more.
Oh my
Oh.
goodness.
I'm
Unless
sticking-
you guys are all done.
No.
No,
Alright.
let's try and redeem ourselves for the final one here.
I'm
Alright.
sticking to green. It
Our
worked
last
well.
one. The monster has 2 antler-like protrusions.
Okay.
Okay.
Around midsection. Sorry, round midsection.
Mm-hmm.
And blue fur. That one threw you off. What
Say them
monster-
again,
yes.
please.
What monster has antler-like protrusions,
Yes.
a round midsection, and blue fur?
Ah.
Well, sounds like Matt's confident. Isn't that nice? Let us know in the chat who you think the suspect is, and what crime you think they committed. I want to know. Not that I'm on the case or anything.
Well, if people are enjoying this activity, maybe we can do it another time where Sydney gets.
Oh, Eric, I've liked your
That'd be
drawings
nice.
so far.
Yes, me too.
Thanks.
Here I have my drawing. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna color in darker.
I think if you tilt it forward, it'll help the camera. I wanna
Yeah.
see if there's anything.
We've really had a white balance wildness with today's episode. Give Eric a little bit of time to finish his.
Thank you.
Well,
this is a
Yeah,
nice.
that's
This is a
why you're
masterpiece.
doing it.
Here we go. So now it's got sort of a 3D quality to it. This is Epic Fur Corn.
Epic fur corn. All right, and would you like to walk us through why you think it's epic?
Well, because Epic Fur Corn, even more so than Rare Fur Corn, is definitely circular in its body shape. It does have
Very round.
antler-like protrusions, although I think I drew the hit with more
Well, there's
here.
some interestingly shaped
With
protrusions.
more here than perhaps it actually has, and blue fur.
Very good.
Notably, Epic Fur Corns only have 2 toes instead of 3 toes, which I believe are shared by both the rare and the common forms.
Very
So
good.
it's like slots, that's how you can tell them apart. Slots. Yeah. All right. Let's see what
Well,
you got here.
based-
Oh my goodness!
based-
I like your art.
Based on the evidence that I received, I believe it's monster handler Michael's monster from the social post wearing his antlers. As you can see, just enjoyed an Easter feast.
Oh, is he grasping a turkey?
A turkey and a cake, yes.
Isn't that
that's
nice?
That's just the dessert.
A turkey
that's
and a
fine.
cake. A turkey and a cake.
I think that checks all the boxes. Blue fur,
Mm-hmm.
antler-like protrusions.
That's right.
Round midsection.
Whoa,
You got it.
Monster handler Michael won't like that.
Well, it's just because he's just stuffed.
I see. He's
Yes.
just eating food.
Well,
All right. Who is it?
I have to say that the suspect written here is Epic Fur Corn.
Yay!
However,
Uh-oh.
Eric's made a very compelling argument. I think further investigation might be needed.
Overruled!
I call this court to session.
Judge Sydney
Very
has
good.
overruled.
All right. Well, I'm going to put these away. And, while art may not necessarily be our specialty, we know that it is the specialty of many talented fans who send in monster pieces to us.
You better believe it.
And we'll take a look at several of those today. Sydney, can you cue them up for us, please?
Oh,
Wow. Facite Fog. Facite. I don't know how to say that. Please let us know if you
Let us
know
know.
how to pronounce his name. But here is an awfully cute Epic Blabbit. Sort of taking a page out of Shrub's book and doing a little bit of ballet.
I was going to say, this reminds me of the pose that Epic Blabbit took on the trail.
It
the photo was
does.
taken.
It does. And why not strike a pose when you've got all the press there?
That's right.
Waiting to Let's just. Alright, what's next here? We have Fire P-Shooter LND. Oh! And you know what? This could have been just as easily an inspiration for us. This sort of draws upon the traditional imagery of the chick, the spring chicken, also relevant around this time of year with Easter. And it even has, now I wonder here, if that's sort of like a kangaroo's pouch on its back carrying those painted eggs, or if that's an extra sort of, actual knapsack that the monster has on. And notably, Fire Pea Shooter also elected to give this monster arms, so they were bang on with respect Blabbit.
And the color, yellow back in play.
That's true. From Rare Blabbit. Here we have
Ooh.
Common Blabbit. This is Flugel Gamer has sent us here. Common Blabbit sort of looking apprehensively at Rare Blabbit, who is like, these are my eggs and you may not have them.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what's going on.
And
there.
I think Common Blabbit's sort of like, come on, man.
Yeah, come on.
Come on, man. Next up from Foxy Insanity Bowgart, we have,
Wow.
Here we have an Epic Blabbit looking very mischievous.
Very
but also
mischievous indeed.
endearing. Very cute.
Endearing.
Yes. That's what I'd say.
Like the antlers.
Yeah.
Deer.
Oh, endearing? I made a pun I didn't even know about
That's
it.
right.
I'm glad you're here to catch my inadvertent puns. Epic Blabbit. Here's one leaping in joy, perhaps at being discovered. What I like about Olivia Owl 7891's work of art here is that they've simplified Epic Blabbit's green eyes into just those glowing pillules.
That's what we saw in one of the photos.
The glowing green eyes?
That's right.
You're right. That one, we don't know whether that one was
We only
hoaxified
confirmed
specifically.
100% that two of them...
101%.
And that there were more in circulation. We don't know which ones for sure. We only got that little tidbit of information.
Next up, from Seabass87,
Oh, my
we
goodness.
have a family portrait of all three varieties of Blabbit.
Really emphasized the features here between the different Blabbits.
Yes, which I like because I think that helps to differentiate them even further.
It's very cool.
You know who the MVP of this one is for me? It's definitely Rare Blabbit.
I-
That Rare Blabbit looks like it's up to no good, and you know what? We sort of know that that's the case. with that
Very,
monster.
yes.
Near on a criminal mastermind.
Very good showing
All right,
around there.
Star Sailor here has done something very interesting and given these elongate legs
I love
to a
this.
common Blabbit. The Blabbit appears to be just fine with this change,
Yep.
and I think that Blabbit definitely works leg day
Yeah.
for sure. A lot of
Certainly
muscle,
seems
lot of muscle
very
definition
toned.
on those legs. Well done, Star Sailor. Let us know what your inspiration was behind this image. Next up, Tessa has
Ooh.
sent in a variety of monsters here that are relevant to this year's extravaganza. We have Epic Scups right there in the middle. We've got Rare and Common Blabbit, sort of checking out what's going on. Love the attention to detail with the heterochromia on Common Blabbit. And there we have Epic Blabbit perched up on the hill behind, sort of saying, "What's going on? What's going on? Why are you paying attention to Epic Scups? I'm the genuine article here."
I really like Rare Blabbit's face in this one. It's
Inquisitive.
and it's very like it's almost cat-like. I really enjoy the style.
Yeah,
of the
I feel like
face.
Rare Blabbit definitely has sort of a feline quality to it.
Here's the noise I picture making.
A little disgruntled sound.
Yeah,
Go on.
just almost. Sometimes an animal will like lay down and they just make a noise where they're like.
I also like the inclusion of the seasonal decorations there along the bottom. The floofy basket, the multiversal Fabergé, the ginormous carrot, and the rotten egg. Well done, Tessa.
Very well done.
Very
now,
well done.
this next piece is actually a video that was on YouTube from the Monsters Explorers. It's a song inspired by following the trail. Let's take a listen.
All right. Well done,
Very
Monster
cool.
Explorers. We love that. Make sure to check out their channel on YouTube for a complete edition of that. I think the beginning might have been chopped off, but
Yeah, I don't think the sound played.
oh,
When we first opened up the monster pieces, the sound was way too loud. It was all the way maxed, and
Mm.
now it's not playing. So we'll play it again at the end.
okay, that sounds
Sound
good.
good?
Well,
That sounds
we'll play it
excellent.
again. But in the meantime, here the Apple Man has done a very simplistic, very cute rendition of Blabbit.
This is
Again,
great.
Again, maybe there's a reference here that I'm missing with those Blabbit eyes, specifically the long, tall, skinny eyes. Maybe it's a reference, much like Big Blabbus was last week, to to a particular form of Blabbit. Next up from Hazelnut Volcano, our resident cartographer here
That's right.
has depicted the relationship between the various worlds of the Big Blue Bubble multiverse. We have Thingia, we have the Monster World, and also the Thumpyverse here. That, much like Yggdrasil, the tree that appears in Norse mythology, and that which connects the 9 realms, here we have different realms of the multiverse here depicted also as being sort of baubles on a tree, on some sort of multiversal tree. Very cool.
Very cool.
Next up, from Chris Sapphire 3, we have Blabbit looking at a mysterious egg, perhaps painting it, waiting for it to hatch. It does hatch and reveals what I can only assume is this artist's interpretation of an epic dandy-doo.
So Blabbit directly
Influences. Oh, I don't know if that's how painting eggs works, but wouldn't it be cool if it did?
It is the monster.
I love
world.
this theory. Well done, Chris Sapphire 3. Love it. Oh, Sentient Shell here has depicted Epic Blabbit saying, "Follow me," like it did from our Following the Trail investigation. This Epic Blabbit reminds me of, I don't know what.
Kind of chipmunky.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, sort of it's sort of a Chip and Dale, but Chip and Dale from a Bizarro universe.
I love it. I think it's
Yes,
fantastic.
I think they did an excellent job. Next up here, Snow Sugar Plixie has
Percu Sheep.
Percu Sheep.
Percu
Percu Sheep.
is the name of their fan-made monster.
If I had to guess, this is some sort of percussion monster that also has percussion involved. Percu Sheep.
Maybe it's
Makes
percuss sheep.
Percuss Sheep. Oh, instead of percussion, it's percuss sheep?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, Snow Sugar Plixie, we love this original character design. Well done. Next up, another entry from Facite Fwog.
Wow.
We have here, a depiction of many Water Island dwellers. Look what we have here. We've got Quibble, we've got Noggin, we've got Shelby, we've got Blabbit, Fwog, Toejammer, Scups, Dandy-Doo, Cybop, Geode, and it looks like they're all in procession. They're all sort of looking at something. Fwog is sort of making eye contact there with Dandy-Doo. Dandy-Doo's looking up at where Geode would be. Scups is looking at sort of Quibble. Toejammer's checking out Blabbit. Noggin's looking at Dandy-Doo. There's a lot of eye contact to follow in this photo.
What a beautiful piece
We
of
love this work. Very well done.
All right, that just about wraps up everything for today.
That sounds great.
Oh,
Wait a minute.
don't we have a giveaway?
We do. We advertised it, so we gotta give it away.
Every episode, we have a giveaway. All you have to do, be in the chat.
And enter exclamation point raffle.
That's right.
In the comments, in the chat, and you'll be automatically entered to win today's giveaway prize.
Would you like to say what the prize today is?
Okay. Today, as this was sort of spoiled in an advertisement that I put in my Singing Monsters today, but the winner of today's giveaway is an Epic Blabbit.
Oh.
Wow, yeah, an Epic Blabbit.
Can't get much better than that in the giveaway.
That's right, and within 1,000 diamond cost in the market, this is definitely a valuable giveaway.
It's the monster to have.
It is the monster en saison.
Yep.
In season. À la mode. Yes, French.
À saison.
Yeah, very good, very good. So, we have our winner, which is... Eric, would you like to do the honors?
I'd love to. The winner of the Epic Blabbit for this episode is Dan36366.
Congratulations, Dan36366. So please make sure to whisper at us your BBBID/friend code to let us know which account we should be delivering your brand new, handily won Epic Blabbit prize for today's episode.
That is right. Now, I believe that's everything.
That's just about everything. So what I'd like to do is, Sydney, I don't know if we have the sound issue figured out.
Eric, would you like to maybe come take a peek at the...
Sure, come say hi to the people, Sydney.
Alright.
Monster Handler Sydney joining me here at the MSM Live.
I'm not wearing my shirt.
Desk.
My Monster Handler shirt.
Well, where is it? Is it somewhere else?
It's in the laundry.
Well, you know what? Why don't I make sure that you're properly
Whoa!
vestimented.
It's all falling apart here.
Vestimented. And I'll give you one of our
Thank
My
you.
Singing Monsters
How generous. How
Monster
generous.
Handler hoodies to wear for these final moments.
I can't be seen without my gear.
That's right. Your gear is integral.
Okay, now that you guys are settled, should we try playing this video?
Yes,
Yes,
let's
please.
try and figure
Again,
it out.
this video is by the Monster the Monster Explorers.
We're the Monster Handlers. This video is from the Monster Explorers.
Yes.
Let's have a look.
Let's give this a try.
Well done, Monster Explorers. Now you had your moment in the sun here on My Sing Monsters Live
Yes.
featured. So we typically close out the episode, so you're getting a whole whack of monster music here in one go. We typically close out our episodes by playing a composition from My Sing Monsters composer.
Eric, would you like to say the farewells to the people? But
I'll say it from back
All
here.
right, sounds good. Yeah, so
Look at you get to slide in right here. You've been working obviously behind the scenes for the whole
Yes,
episode, but you
I've
get
been on the chat
but you
behind
get
the
to,
camera,
but you
in
get to
front of the
deliver
camera.
our sign off
All right.
for today. So we, as we normally say, we say happy monstering, but
And
we'll
who-
get to that in just
Yes.
a second. because I need to say that today's My Sing Monster composer masterpiece comes from Bowgart fan, and this is Limbo Island. And I chose that one because, you know, for so long Epic Blabbit was in sort of a limbic state. Was it real? Was it not? Where did it live? But I thought
Good
that this,
metaphor.
but I thought that this was connected to the theme of this week's release in My Sing Monsters. So please enjoy Limbo Island from Bowgart fan, and as we always say, until next time when we'll be going back to our regularly scheduled time slot for episode 25 of My Sing Monsters Live next Friday. So until then, happy
Happy
monstering!